for these sappers to help them against the German armor would certainly be helpful. And with Bren gun they might be able to at least acquire a temporary advantage. Mortar rounds though knocking out one recon section member, and so far the British effort has been a bit lackadaisical. They've constantly been trying at the same spot, and they've been using the lieutenant to seize territory and actually instead of actually supporting the infantry sections, which could certainly have been more helpful, I imagine. Stuart light tank crashing right into it, getting immobilized very swiftly. The anti-tank half-track doing a nice job with that, and now the Panzer IV also firing away rear shots, really damaging the Stuart a lot. And the Stuart wrecked in seconds. Piat rounds hitting the Panzer IV, which is illuminated by the wreck of the Stuart. Forced to get out of there before it is lost by this vast horde of British infantry, who are for some reason pulling back in rout mass, probably because they are clustered together and there are still mortar rounds hitting in. And we see the mortar attack being repaired, and Royal Scots engineers have been called upon to ride their Churchill's infantry tanks, and there we go. Churchill Mark IV moving through the southern roads might provide a surprise advantage against the Wehrmacht force with the Panzer Elite, the 12th SS. We'll have to see. Not entirely sure what that Churchill is doing, thumping around. No emplacements to actually support here. I might have expected at least a mortar emplacement to help. And now Churchill killing a Panzer Grenadier with first shot. Will the casualties continue to rise? I don't know. Panzerschreck has been equipped though, so might have expected some heavier armor. Panzerschreck team though taking fire from the Churchill now, not really succeeding to penetrate, and now British troops are joining in, killing several Panzer Grenadiers, forcing all three teams into retreat. And now the British might be able to succeed. The Panzer IV has been buttoned. Piat rounds continuing to fire in. Churchill also joining into the fight. This Panzer IV is not in a happy spot. Churchill though not having much luck so far either in actually penetrating the frontal armor. Piat rounds continuing to crash into the Panzer IV, which with its scorched frontal armor is now slowly pulling back, ensuring not to expose its rear. The Churchill seems to be lumbering rather heavily. Panzer Grenadiers trying to repair this Panzer IV swiftly, and the sappers with the Piats continue the hunt. And we see a Luftwaffe field squad, meaning that the 16th Luftwaffe field division has been called in to actually help. And we're in fact seeing 2 Luftwaffe squads, quite a lot so early on, and certainly a bit surprising. You usually don't see that many this fast. And let's have a return at Mr. Dera, repairing this Panzer IV rather swiftly, since they do have experience fixing rather intense mechanical vehicles like aeroplanes from their time in the Luftwaffe as repair teams and whatnot. Captain dashing ahead for the central victory point. Churchill so far being a bit of a threat to the Panzer Elite forces, and further Panzerschrecks are being equipped. And we see a Wirbelwind is also being prepared. No Fallschirmjäger so far. We'll have to see what he will do with all of this. And we see the Panzer Elite are making ahead for an assault. 16th Luftwaffe and 12th SS making a dash right through this eastern path. Might be going for here, knowing that they probably did spot this field support truck. They might try and use all of this to try and knock it out. We'll have to see. Panzerschreck teams also joining in. Plenty of Luftwaffe infantry to really compose the main part of the infantry force, or at least act as a sort of meat shield, I suppose. Or not. Looks like one Luftwaffe team is pulling back. It looks like the British are aware of this, in fact. Moving all of their forces towards the east. And now the field support truck is coming under heavy fire. Panzer Grenadiers and Luftwaffe troops moving in. Panzerschreck troops no not. And we see a second sapper team now. The Churchill joining in all of these British troops. And so far 6 sections, some of those sappers, but still a lot of British infantry. And the Luftwaffe team is suffering heavy losses. The anti-tank half-track tries to make a breakthrough, but gets caught up in all the British troops and now gets spotted. It will probably be lost now. Yes, indeed. Bren gun fire smashing through the thin armor of the half track, crashing it into all of these trees, blocking the way into the small lake. Panzer IV and Panzerschreck acting as a rear guard, but now the captain just continue his raiding in the rear areas of the 12th SS, and while these Luftwaffe troops are beginning to retake this fuel point. And we see a 88mm flak 60-36 ready to provide some heavy fire against British infantry and armor, and there we go. First shot firing away, not killing anything though. And we see the troops are pulling back. Will they be using this building for cover? Flak shot crashing into the side of the Churchill. German troops not taking cover in this building. Bit oddly though. Mortar rounds beginning to land as well, and the Luftwaffe are quickly suppressed by the Bren fire and taking heavy losses. Panzer grenades as well. They really will need to get out of there. Panzer IV joining in, killing 4 with 1 shot, and incendiary rounds landing as well. Heavy losses for the British, forced into a full rout. The assault has been bloodily repulsed. And the Luftwaffe squad is still there, but heavily wounded and short 1 man. And now he sends it into the building, and not before but after, which is certainly perhaps a bit too late. And we see a armored command truck has arrived, and he has the Staghound armored car sending those into the field. No Cromwells or Kangaroos, certainly interesting, but we can certainly surmise that he has Tales of Valor. And this might be the end of the captain now. The Luftwaffe team moving in the light of this wrecked train, firing away, but the captain is swift to get out of there before the Luftwaffe troops manage to finish him off. And further armored units are being sent out, and another Staghound joins the field. Quite interesting. Panzerschreck crashing into the side of the Churchill. Luftwaffe troops coming under fire from the Staghound and the Churchill. Luftwaffe goes down, in fact, and the other team taking heavy fire, machine gun fire, and of course the gun on this Staghound forces this Luftwaffe team with only 1 heavily wounded trooper to get out of there. And now another Staghound charges in, and of course a main British assault as well. Large body of infantry. Nothing to really stop them. The Luftwaffe troops are being slaughtered, and so are the Panzer grenades with the Panzerschreck. In fact, the Panzerschreck team is lost. Mortar rounds crashing in. The Panzer IV being sent in to try and contain the situation. But Piets with sappers are trying to hunt it down. These Panzer grenades really are in a dire situation. Mortar rounds continue to crash in. 2 sappers dead, knocked out by the high explosive shells. But a Panzer grenadier is killed before the rest of the team makes it out of there. And looks like the British might be able to hold this point now, having wrested it from the Panzer Elite, the 12th SS, after so long time. Their infantry having suffered heavy losses. And Fallschirmjägers now joining the fight as well. Certainly seeing a lot from the Luftwaffe. One should almost begin to expect some actual aerial Luftwaffe units, but then that might be expecting too much. But he will certainly be needing something a bit more than Panzerschrecks to deal with that. Churchill and possibly also those Staghounds. We'll have to see what Dera will do. And will something else be coming out of here? Not so far. And we see the British are still hanging around this casualty clearing station. Medics continuing to drag out wounded British towards it. Looks like the armor is being repaired and gathering up to defend. And a fresh German assault Fallschirmjägers at the 4 Panzer IV and mortar half-track nearby to provide fire support. But quickly forced to pull back. And the heavy crack of the Flak 88 can be heard as the 88mm projectile crashes through the sky. Sapper team caught out in the open and 1 killed by the Flak 88. Panzer IV not close, but there we go. British infantry get within range. 3 down already. Masterful shot and mortar rounds now also taking their toll. And the British is once more forced into a retreat, leaving only their armour to hold, but with the Churchill and 2 Staghounds they should be able to hold away this force, since the Germans don't really have any more dedicated anti-tank assets, which will certainly not be to their advantage. Luftwaffe going for the central victory point once more. Staghound quick to open fire, not hitting anything right away though. And we see an attendant cutting off the fuel. Panzer grenadiers coming under heavy machine gun fire from the Staghounds, getting suppressed. 1, 2 going down to the 50 caliber machine gun fire. And the Luftwaffe look like they might be able to seize the central victory point. But they are now coming under heavy fire from the Staghounds, who are now joining in here, firing away with their machine guns and main guns. And the Luftwaffe are forced into cover behind this small stone wall. And we too see a Panzer Jäger command, so we might expect a Marder 3, albeit having set up a Flak 88 could certainly also have been of help. What is this? A nice line for the armor right here. I'm not entirely sure if they're setting up for an assault or setting up for a defense. We will have to see. Mortar rounds forcing the sappers into a retreat. Most hasty, still nothing from this armor command truck. And all of these British troops are currently hiding around this casualty clearing station. 5 infantry sections and 2 sapper sections. Certainly quite a lot of British infantry. 1 heavily wounded infantry section, the recon is more specifically going for this point, while the rest are moving towards the south. Wonder where they will be going. Certainly starting to suspect they might be trying to go for a more slightly sneaky link up with these, which could certainly mean they might be preparing for a large assault, in which case maintaining the element of surprise in where the force will hit, and of course the size of it will be vital. Panzer Elite troops pulling back towards the main base, Fallschirmjäger, Luftwaffe and whatnot. And we see the infantry section coming under fire from the Flak 88, one already down. Will the other fall? Nope. Not yet at least, and there we go, main British force. 2 armored cars at Churchill and 6 infantry sections, 2 of those being sapper teams. We'll have to see how they will carry on with this. Butterfly bombs being prepared. And we see the Panther battle group being prepared as well to be called in. The Panther regiments of the 12th SS being called upon to provide some heavier firepower against all of this British armor. And there it is ready, but they are lacking the territory, they are lacking the population cap. Looks like the British might send in their assault. The Luftwaffe coming under heavy fire. One problem though for the British, their assault is going to be a slow one, since there are no lieutenants to actually urge on the British infantry. Looks like this Luftwaffe team might be killed. Almost tragically wasted for no good reason, and now the British assault will continue unabated. Ready to move out. Fallschirmjäger apparently providing the only